You talked about I think something that was going to happen, I believe, in the Middle East, some sort of energy and I don't know about people dying, just these transitions of stuff. And I think we're seeing that play out now. Yes, on the screens, but also feeling the collective. It seems like there's a collective rising that's really beautiful right now. It appears to be chaotic, but at the same time, it feels like people are seeing things differently in mass. Can you expand on any
Yes,
of that?
there is a mass awakening, but not in the idea of a spiritual awakening. We're not talking. So there is a mass shake-up. There's a self-awareness journey going on for people that were very complacent, and it will be very tumultuous because the energy and the focus of this area of that is being highlighted was very dense, dark, and deeply buried into the patterns and the psyche of many societies in many countries. So it will look very messy and it will look very chaotic, and it is very necessary for this to happen. But at the same time, as we had described, individuals are asking questions where they would have just accepted things.
Right.
And sometimes for the first time they are suddenly looking at something that might have been going on for decades.
So we're individual.
And they are not just accepting it anymore. They are in an awakened shock, if you like.
Right. We're individually creating new patterns. Like I talked a moment ago about something that I'm working on. I have to keep visualizing it to change that pattern. So what they're doing is they're changing, like this 1,000 years of war or 1,000 years of things being the same. They're changing that pattern individually and then mass consciousness too.
Yes, as each individual comes to their own awareness, their own questioning of what we will call your man-made religion, because this is what this is based on. They will each break open and raise their own frequency, but at the same time, they will look like they are doing it in unison, but each of them is doing it to their own personal level, for their own personal journey, whilst joining with others, because that gives them more confidence and more encouragement. Even if it looks very negative.
It makes me so happy, almost kind of motherly, of looking at society now, of things that I've known for decades that they're waking up to in mass, and it seems so beautiful that we finally got to this point where they're able to do this.
Yes, because this is a wave of light traveling around your whole planet and lighting up the deepest, darkest aspects. Finally, this is if you like, the last layer of darkness that is being highlighted. Because when this is moved through, and we will not describe the details of that, it will bring in a completely different frequency where that darkness will not be able to fester or regroup and start again.
And those of us individuals who aren't out in the street fighting and are not necessarily waking up to these new things, what is our role at this time?
Well, you know yourself, your role is what you are going through now at this time, is to learn to super focus your reality.
And as we...
to really fine-tune and offload the density that does not belong to you, but to really, really focus and be definite about what reality you prefer to experience.
It's interesting.
That is your work. That is the most important work.
It just seems so petty. These things going on in the world are so massive, and I know I'm in New Earth and all this stuff I can create, but yet here I am working on individual things such as self-worth and weight and stuff like that.
You are the only person in your world, so what else would you need to do?
Right, and so every person's doing that individually, and
yes.
that's...
And what they're doing is where they're meant to be at this given moment, and what you're doing is where you're meant to be at this given moment. And to wipe out, to so much pain and horror on your planet. So how can it be petty? Human trafficking, sexual abuse, rape, every single thing, they're all part of that sexual programming.
Right, so as I, on an individual...
And you're here clearing it.
So what I do on an individual basis in clearing those programs, then that affects the masses too?
That creates the opportunity for a mass clearance, yes.
Is there anything else Linda and I should know about during this time, like beaming out light, any certain energies to do with what's going on in the world? Like just be ourselves?
We would say that what we are sure of is that this wave of light that is engulfing the whole planet is creating for each person their own individual, fine-tuned, spiritual focus. So what you are doing by bringing in each day a new perspective, a new angle of seeing what it is you see every day is very, very important, definitive spiritual work. Because that's the way forward, if you like, if we're going to use the term forward, for raising a frequency and keeping a frequency significantly raised whilst in a physical structure can only be done by fine-tuning the focus and always moving the thought processes to what it is you prefer without the need to feed yourself negative input. You have done the negative stuff. You do not need to bring in the darkness anymore. The negativity you experienced has put you where you are now with the light shining through you. And whatever your physical body needs to do to catch up with that light, let it do and aid it and help it. And keeping yourselves fine-tuned and enjoying the experiences of being a human being.
Isn't it a different physical body like every second?
To a degree, yes, that's how you move, that's what we describe. But if you keep jumping ahead and thinking that before you truly believe it, you are confusing your physical experience. You are bypassing the journey and trying to get to the outcome.
So
the journey is what you are here for. You did not come here to just get to the end of it. You came here to move through it.
So the message to us and to everyone that's going on in the world right now is it is all in individual awakening and individual fine-tuning.
Yes, which is